All right, today we're doing some very basic maintenance items on the Buick Envista, so you're gonna want to stick around. What's up guys, happy Thursday. Welcome back to the channel. So today I will be doing two items on the Envista. They're kind of overdue. I believe both of these guys are due 12,000 miles. I'm about 8,000 miles past that, but it's okay. We'll be doing the engine air filter and the cabin filter. Both of these are extremely easy to do. I think this guy would need a flathead and a Phillips to do it, but not that bad. I'll walk you through both. So considering I'm gonna be in the engine bay, I thought this would be a good time to go over just how ridiculously easy it is to work on this car. Now, the Envista is an average size car, mid-size car, crossover, whatever you wanna call it. With that being said, it has a very tiny 1.2 liter 3-cylinder engine. Right, so you have all this engine bay with a little motor, and that equates to a lot of extra room, which is outstanding. The engineers were actually smart. Almost everything to do maintenance on and or repair, it's almost laughable how easy it is to do. And considering it's a 3-cylinder, and the parts are already very inexpensive, it costs even less. So your coil packs, you need 3. Your spark plugs, you only need 3, and they're all pretty much basic. A lot of the parts are borrowed from other cars. Even the oil filter, it's the same oil filter. My C8 Corvette cost about $11. Crazy, right? I know. So yeah, we'll do these real quick, and I'll walk you through all the components from where the turbo is, to where your intercooler is, coolant fill, your dipstick even, all the very simple stuff you will touch at one point. Now, before I go to the car, I do want to address 3 things I see all the time in my previous Envista videos. People get really cranky about this. The first is, why would you buy something made in China? It's made in Korea, South Korea. Secondly, they'll say it's a turbocharged 3-cylinder. It won't last very long. Now, the jury is still out on that. Ford, GM, and even Toyota has gotten to the 3-cylinder game over the last 4 or 5 years. If you do a quick query on the Auto Trader, Car Gurus, etc., there are plenty of these little 1.2 to 1.4 liter 3-cylinders that have way over 100,000 miles. I'm in the camp of, if you take care of something, it will last. Do your oil changes a little sooner. Do all your preventive maintenance a little sooner. Typically, that's a recipe or formula for success. Now, the third one I will agree on. That is that the Envista, the little 1.3 turbo motor, has a wet timing chain, or should I say belt. The jury is still out on that. Now, why that's an issue? Conventionally, you have a timing chain outside of the block, right? It's by itself, easy to do maintenance on. Cool, no big deal. Now, with a wet timing belt, it's more susceptible to failure. They do it to cut costs and keep noise down. I get it. It's supposed to be changed every 100,000 miles. I would not go more than 80,000 miles without replacing it. Now, why it's such a big deal? Now, the fact that it's always lubricated and actually a belt material, it's more likely to break. It could. I'm not saying it will. It's more susceptible to that. And this being a direct interference motor, meaning if that belt snaps, your piston is going to meet your valves. Your engine is no more. That's why it's very important to keep an eye on that guy and not go over the exceeded a lot of time for replacements. Now, I think my wife got the extended warranties. I think we're good for 5 years, 100,000 miles. Don't quote me on that, but we already have 20,000 miles on the car. So if we still have the car around 70, 80,000 miles, I probably will be doing it sooner than later. Keep that in mind. So yeah, those 3 things I wanted to ping on because I hear about it all the time. It's not made in China. Yes, it's a 3-cylinder. Yes, it's a wet timing belt chain. I know. With that being said, I still think it's a great value. It's a great little car. I've had it over a year. 0 issues besides getting rear-ended, but that's not really the car's fault. All right, now I'm just talking too much. So let's go to the car, throw this in, and I'll walk you through all the little items under the engine bay. Sound good? Cool. All right, gang, first things first, we're gonna go ahead and replace this filter here. Got this guy at Advanced Auto, I think it's like $12. It's a CarQuest. It's the only one they carry, but it'll do the job. Now, this is actually your intake right here. It's kind of a goofy design, and it funnels it to right there. This is your air box, and then it filters it. So your charge pipe, which is right here, coming off your turbo, and it goes down here to your intercooler. We'll get there in a second. Let's go ahead and swap this guy out real quick. We're gonna need a flathead and a Phillips to do this job. I'll show you exactly what I'm doing here. I've only read how to do this on a forum, but I think it's pretty intuitive. First things first, these two little push deals right there. Need a flathead or a pick will work too. Most GMs use these guys. These little things will come out right there. Don't lose these. They're actually 2 parts. I don't know what a dealership or a shop would charge to do this job. Probably way too much. I mean, you can do this yourself in a few minutes but yeah, 10 minutes of your time and 12 bucks. Save yourself a lot of money. All right, should be 2 little tabs right here. Just kind of push them out. This guy comes up. Super simple, right? Super easy. And your filter is actually behind this guy. That's where our Phillips comes in. Looks like we got 4 screws total. And we can lift it up. See how dirty it is. I have no idea. I'm probably gonna do the plugs at about 30,000 miles, about 10,000 miles, which are right underneath here. I'll show you that in a second. I don't know if these come all the way out. Probably right there is fine. I'm doing this for the first time too, guys. It's your mass airflow sensor right there. Cool, I think now we can just lift it up here. And we can. And this is our filter. It's really tiny. It's a little motor. And it's a little dirty, but not bad. Almost looks brand new still. But yeah, I think the manual says 12,000 miles to replace this guy. I probably would have been okay for another 10,000 miles, but now I know it's done. This guy can only go in one way. Hard to mess it up. There we go, we're pretty much done. Reverse the process here. All right, we're almost done, guys. I think this car could really take advantage of the cold air. This thing's really restrictive. Not sure why, if that's the slowdown from the mass airflow for air fuel mixture, but I feel like it's starving it. I don't know. I'm sure there's a reason for it. This guy should clip right back down inside. Oh, this guy's got to go in first down here. Don't forget that. There we go. Cool. That's done. Grab the bottoms first, which are these guys. Boom. Boom. And then these guys are going to push right into place. Cool. And cool. That was real time, probably 4.5 minutes. Boom. Like I said, a shop or dealer probably charge you 150 bucks to do that. It's kind of ridiculous. All right, let's go in the cabin. We'll do the cabin filter really quick. I'll show you all the little points of maintenance on this car and how ridiculously, stupidly easy it is to work on. All right, here we are, passenger side here. Now, I'm not sure if this will work for the Trax. It probably will. They're almost the same car. But to access the cabin filter behind this guy, and we gotta take this little guy off right there. This just pulls off. Kind of squeeze it. Well, yeah, I didn't film that part. I thought it was gonna be a headache, and I just pulled it and damn thing came off. And then up inside here, these 2 little stops, push that one in, and this side, essentially to squish it together, everything will fall off. I'm an idiot. Now we can access your filter. Oh, and here's your special plug, by the way, for your lugs. Your lug lock is in here, so cool. All right, and then your filter, hopefully you can see it, is right here. All right, so it's 2 little tabs. You're gonna push them in and pull it towards you. And that's it. Now this thing sat in the shop for a while. Might be some debris in there. Rodents, but not too bad. All right, let's grab the other one. There is a correct way for airflow, so be cognizant of that. 2 ones under here, pile of stuff. One should have airflow on there. And airflow, boom, just like that. And like that. And this guy is gonna go on just like this. It should snap right back in. Boom, you hear it click. Now the door we let fall. Has little tabs right there. Line these guys up right down here, if you can see that. Cool. This thing kind of goes back in. This little guy. Okay, so there's this little thing. It goes up. It's like a little snaps back on, but it's almost like a shock, and it sucks itself back in. So pull it back down, push it back on, and you're done, just like that. Let me get this cleaned up, and I'll walk you through the engine compartment. All right, quick little brief overview of all this stuff you're going to touch eventually doing maintenance and fixing, etc. So this is actually your cover that goes on top of your head right here, your block. And it looks plastic, but it's rubber. I guess it's for noise canceling. I don't know. It's got some weight to it. It just pops on and off on these little guys right here. Super simple. Comes right off. Cool. So right here, we'll start. Do a very basic tune-up if you want to do your coils and plugs. Your coil is right there, a couple of 10 millimeters right there, and these lift right out. Unplug that guy, you're all set. And down inside there, that's where your spark plug would go. 1, 2, 3. Very simple. A coil pack plug job on this car take you 5 minutes, which is great. Secondly, your exhaust manifold. How clever is that? Your O2 sensor upstream, right there. How just so convenient. I love it. Great. Put some more coolant in, no big deal. Right there. It's hot, so it's a little low right now, but when it's cold, it does come up a little bit. Washer fluid, boom, right there. Check your brake fluid, boom, right there. Your battery, boom, right there. Your fuses, one location, one hand. Boom, right there. Because there's so much real estate in here, they put everything strategic and easy to get to. Your turbo is the only tricky thing, but I mean, if you're gonna do turbo work, you're already pretty advanced working on cars, but that guy is right there. This is your charge line. So real quick, your intake comes in here, funnels through your air box, comes back here through your mass airflow sensor, comes back here, connects to your turbo, gets boosted from your exhaust, comes to your charge pipe right here, runs down here, runs down to your intercooler, which hopefully you can see it. There's your radiator, and yep, there's your intercooler right there. This is where it takes all of your warm air from the turbo, your compressed air, cools it down a little bit and spits it back up to your manifold, which is right here. Now, there's some coverings on this, but I'm glad the intake manifold is on this side of the engine because this is a direct injection motor, meaning after about 30, 40,000 miles, these tend to, any DI motor, get carbon on the intake valves. So this will be much easier to take this guy off, clean your intake valves with a brush or a walnut blast, put your intake back on, you're all set. Now you see a lot of acorns in here, 2 reasons for that. My wife right now parks under an oak tree for another 3 weeks till we move. And this was sitting on a repair lot for about 6 months. A lot of critters got up in here. Luckily I didn't eat anything, but when I got this back, it was full of rat poop and who knows what else. So I got most of it out, but there's still some in here. So if you see that, that's why. So, but yeah, as far as your basic tune-up, boom, good to go. Your fuel line, which connects to right there. This is your fuel line right here. I'm trying to see where your injectors are. Your injectors looks like they're right. So actually, yeah, okay, so your fuel comes in here. It comes in here through some sort of regulator. It comes back in here. Here's your fuel rail right there. If you had to replace that, you take off the intake plenum right here. I guess your valve cover, and then you could access it that way. Not too bad at all. This is a dual overhead cams on both sides, and your wet belt is gonna be the same side as your belts, which are right there. So your wet belt right here, your wet timing belt is gonna be about right here. And your belts, pretty easy to get to, believe it or not, especially from the bottom. Looks like you have just one main belt, which is nice. Your AC compressor down there, alternator right there. Try to find your tensioner. Your tensioner is right there in front of me. And then your crankshaft is right down there. And lastly, oil changes on this guy are so incredibly easy. I've done 3. This is your fill right there. This is where you check the oil level. It just uses a regular, I say regular because oils now are getting so exotic, like a 0W50 weird weight with a weird additive. This just takes a regular 530 synthetic, but make sure it is GM compliant with Dexos. I don't know how to say that. I've never heard someone say it. I've always read it, but Dexos, make sure it says that somewhere on your oil and is compliant with 5W30 synthetic. This takes 4.2 quarts. I do like 4.4. I always want a little more oil, if anything. And then your filter and your drain plug are super easy to get to. Now, if you're small enough, you can actually get to it without jacking the car up. You have one little plate right there, a couple 7mm, and one behind it, right there. Oil filter right there, drain plug right there. Place those, put your oil in, boom, you're all set. And this is your ECU PCM right there, up out of the way, which is great. So if you go through some standing water, it won't get wet. So pretty clever, pretty easy to work on. I'm used to coming from large engines and small sports cars, so this is kind of a treat to look at this. It's kind of nice. So that goes your heater core right there. I imagine that's pretty easy to get to. Maybe, I don't know. Some cars are a total boner to fix a heater core, but sometimes the whole dash has to come out. But maybe if they're clever, you can get up underneath the dash. TBD on that. But honestly, a really, really nice layout. Like I said, I'll be doing the plugs here in 10,000 miles. I'll do a video on that guy. And then any other maintenance that comes up, I will be doing that. Brakes as well, sooner than later. So make sure you follow along the channel to get all your Envista maintenance needs. So cool, guys. I'm gonna wrap it up. That's pretty much it. Kind of long-winded for just a air filter, cabin filter, but now you know how to do it. Save yourself some money. Even the shocks look really easy to get to. Really simple. That's your mount right there. 3 bolts. That's it. And then just take them off the knuckle. That's it. Pretty simple. So cool, guys. Any input you guys want to add? Any questions? Feel free to ask. I'm not a master mechanic. I just like working on shit and saving money. I've been doing it for 15 years. So it's worked out so far for me. So all right, guys. Until next time, you guys take care. Mark out.